Hello, Asylumus. It is I, Targy, otherwise known as the Asylum Reaper, and I just wanted to get back on here and just kind of talk a little bit more. I know I'm not wearing the beanie. No, my hair's all over the place. I just wanted to say, how is everybody doing? I hope you all are doing well. I just wanted to reiterate, it might be a few more weeks before I get my equipment back. But, shouldn't be an issue. I haven't started streaming on Twitch yet. Haven't started that. No, I just wanted to just kind of get on here and just ask a bunch of questions and just kind of talk about a bunch of stuff. Maybe not ask questions. I don't know. That might be going a little too far. But just kind of talk about things, my channel related and whatnot. I think the biggest one, I think I brought it up yesterday, or not yesterday. Yeah, yesterday. Do you guys enjoy the longer uncut stuff? Like, I don't know. It's just kind of something that I've been asking myself and thinking about regularly. Because, I don't know, looking at my channel and the different views and stuff, it just seems to vary whether or not the really, really edited stuff does better or worse than, like, the Resident Evil 8 uncut. And don't get me wrong, I had a lot of fun with the Resident Evil 8 Uncut. I just can't picture a lot of games that I would personally play benefiting from that. I know I've tried to do Terraria like twice on my channel. No, once on my channel. I think. And, I kind of still want to play games like that. Maybe. I know it's not horror related, but I don't know, it's just something that's been plaguing my mind. I hope all of you Asylumists are doing well. This is going to be essentially like a Targy Talks Episode 2. Even more random topics is probably what I'm going to call it. Let me just grab the controller here so I'm scrolling through my channel again. Just kind of looking at it. I know 18 hours ago the end of the RE8 DLC dropped on my channel. That was the last pre-recorded video, so from this point forward, this is what you have to expect until I get my equipment back, and obviously, here and there I will stream on Twitch. But no. I'm going to go ahead and scroll all the way to, like, my earliest videos really quick, because this is kind of like the topic I wanted to talk about. And just go over some of the things that just kind of stopped on my channel. And I just kind of want to go over everything one at a time here, just for clarity for you guys. I know nobody's asked, and I know that's not really important to me. But if you were to go to the very first video, public on my channel, there are other old things, but the very first video that is public is a Throwback Thursday vlog from November 29th, 2014. Now, I don't know what compelled me to set that back to public. There's like a good 20 videos from around that period of time that are just privated. I probably won't public them. They're nothing, like, they're not me playing games. They're not me doing anything very important. I don't think I had any equipment at the time. I think I had an all-in-one laptop or an all-in-one PC, if you guys know what those are. That's how long ago that was. And then there's also the second public video before we get into the Amnesia of the Dark Descent is Throwback Thursday short GTA 5 montage from January 22nd, probably of that year, which I believe was recorded initially on the Xbox One. I'm pretty sure this one was dubbed over. I voiced over it. As strange as that may be, I voiced over it. And then we get into Amnesia, which, 5 years ago is my very first Amnesia the Dark Descent video from 5 years ago. I don't know how I'm going to hold this camera. Do I hold it here? No, that feels weird. I miss having, like, a webcam because I'm having to, like, hold my phone up. I'm not used to it. I know that there's a lot of people that are probably thinking to yourself, how are you not used to holding your phone in front of you? I'm not that big of a phone guy. But we get in, and a lot of you probably have never went back and looked, but I did at one point. I got really bored a month or so ago, and I went back and I redid all the thumbnails. Or a lot of them didn't even have thumbnails, so I went back and put thumbnails on every single old Amnesia video. They're pretty basic. I didn't expect anything to change with it. I just thought it looked cleaner to have thumbnails on them. Now that I kind of know how to use... by the way, if you're wondering what I use to do thumbnails, I use Canva. And I do pay for that monthly. I just find I really enjoy the utility of Canva. I use it for other things, too. If I'm ever doing, like, a personal project. Which I do a lot of other personal projects as well, not just YouTube. I don't know if we're ever going to get into some of the other things that I work on in my spare time. There's a reason that a lot of people that have known me have called me one of the most creative people that just creates things that are never going to amount to anything. I guess we can talk about what I've been working on a personal movie franchise idea since 2009. Now, a lot of you are probably thinking, oh, that sounds pretty cool. It did. When I could talk to you about it in its entirety in 30 minutes, back in like 2010. But because I've been working on it non-stop since then, if I were to sit down in one of these videos to explain the entire concept of it now, with how much I have grown and enhanced it and adapted it and just built onto it, I would have to have 2 or 3 weeks worth of time. And that's going to be the length of the video. Or, you know, I'd probably do it in parts, but that's if I ever decide to sit down and talk about that. And for those of you that are wondering, maybe a little bit of hint or detail, I may or may not have brought this up in the past in any capacity. But it's essentially kind of like an alternate history, science fiction. There's demons, there's monsters, there's private military organizations. It's multi-universe. There's a bunch of stuff that I've adapted into it. I've taken inspiration from a lot of things. I've tried my best not to straight rip from other things. Because if I ever do anything with this, I don't want to immediately be like, no, you can't do that. You took that from us. I don't ever want that to be the case. Hell, there are times where I will go and look at... I have... Not only do I have a physical binder and notebooks with information that I've written down, I also have my own personal Google Docs with multiple pages on it detailing everything from characters, scenes, timeline order, and if you're wondering, 50-something, I call them plot points, but originally it was like over 110 standalone titles for movies and different plots and arcs and stuff. I've whittled that down to like 50-something. Like, I don't have my computer on me to physically pull it up and show you guys. Maybe I'll go over that one day if you guys are interested. But it'll take a lot of time. But like I have all of that worked out. And I haven't done it this year or the last year, but every year, if I decide to buy one of the WWE games, which I typically do, I'm a huge wrestling fan. But every year, when one of the new WWE 2K games comes out, like a month or so before it comes out, I will open up a brand new Google Doc, and I will write down 100 characters that I want to make. With their height, their weight, 2 attires, if need be, their entrance music, what moves I want them to have, if they're in a tag team, literally everything. I like to be creative. I like to create worlds. You know, it's just interesting for me that I do so much of this sort of like world building and creative stuff, and I've never talked about it on camera. I think maybe a long time ago. It probably isn't even up on my channel anymore, because I know that there's probably a good 30 or 40 videos that I straight up deleted off of my channel from like ages ago. I believe I used to play Bloons Tower Defense 5 on my YouTube channel, as crazy as that might sound. But no, it's just like I work on a lot of creative world building stuff. That sort of thing interests me. I like to look into a lot of filmography. Just world building really captures my attention and my interest, because if you're creative, and you don't have to be the most creative person in the world, like, if you have an idea that you think works well, I'll be the first to tell you what nobody else will probably tell you. If you think something works well, if you think something is cool, I guarantee you that there is a group out there, big and or small, that thinks the same thing if you were to present that to them. So I just want to say to all my asylumists, if you think that you have a cool idea, run with it. Absolutely run with it. Because whether or not the people that you have in your personal life, your personal friends, your personal family, whether or not they think anything of it should not matter. There is a niche out there for everyone. I'm just going to go and throw that out there. Now, if you're wondering, well, if that's the case, if you've said that, how come you haven't told anybody about your thing that you've been working on since 2009? I can't even talk to my partner about that. Because every time I start to bring it up, my partner literally goes, oh, here we go. I hope you have a week of your time put aside. Because that's literally, it's gotten to the point where it takes me that long to sit down and explain every little detail and aspect of it. And it just keeps growing. But, aside from that, I just wanted to kind of bring that up a little bit, kind of talk about that. But if we go farther up into my channel, after Amnesia, I also want to point out that I don't know what I was thinking 4 years ago when I put up Amnesia: The Dark Descent Part 13, and then literally I hadn't even finished The Dark Descent yet, and then I'm like, I'm gonna go ahead and do an episode of A Machine for Pigs. So, and not only that, but 2 episodes into A Machine for Pigs, I then started Rebirth, because Rebirth had just came out. And I'm still playing Rebirth, because I'm the most inconsistent person I can think of, or at least I used to be at that time. Right now, I'm not uploading gaming content because I don't have my equipment. But I also redid a lot of the thumbnails for A Machine for Pigs as well, just for the hell of it. Then I started doing Fortnite on my channel. I deleted a couple episodes of that. I used to have a Portal playthrough up on my channel, but I deleted all of that. Not going to get into my reasons why. I just personally didn't feel like it belonged. I had completed it. I did enjoy the experience. There was a personal reason why I got rid of it. Moving forward, one episode I did Friends in Harsh Language for Modern Warfare Warzone. I think that would have been Modern Warfare 2019. God, that was one of the things I was talking about yesterday. I had Call of Duty up on my channel. I'll probably leave that up. But my issue with that video is that I'm only really good friends with one person in that video still. But I think that'll stay up. And then I dabbled in the Paint the Town Red, the Squeaker files. That was kind of that kind of blew up in its own right. And I don't think it ever went anywhere. I did 2 episodes of Dead by Daylight. Around that time, I started playing Alien Isolation, The Binding of Isaac. We're still 3 years ago, by the way. There have been spurts where I'm like, I record every single day. I think when I was doing Binding of Isaac, it was like, almost every single day I was uploading. And for those of you that are wondering, why did you stop The Binding of Isaac? I really liked that you played that. I thought that was an interesting playthrough that you're doing. It's very simple why I stopped uploading that. I lost my save file. I still play Binding of Isaac to this day. But for that particular playthrough that I was playing through with you guys on my channel, that save file got deleted. Not on purpose, not maliciously, genuinely an accident, it got deleted. Which is why, if I scroll all the way up to the last video that I posted of it, the last video says, the final recording of Binding of Isaac Repentance number 47. I don't know what I said in that video, but I would have kept going after that. I genuinely would have. Regardless of what I said in that video, I probably would have kept going. But alas, the save file got deleted. I still got to go back and finish Penumbra Overture. that could be fun to finish. I do want to go back and finish everything that I possibly can. For consistency's sake, because, like, whether or not my channel ever, like, blows up, which I do hope it does eventually. If it doesn't, oh well. Like, I will look at these videos from my past and be like, yeah, there's kind of like a documented history there of the games that I've played. But no, just kind of looking back at my channel, there's a lot of videos. Oh, that I just remembered. I used to have Poppy's Playtime episode 1 and 2, or part 1 and 2 uploaded on my channel. Yeah, they're gone. I deleted those shortly before I made the video for Venge, because I had read. I think I talked about it in Venge, the video, that there was that controversy of Poppy Playtime had come out. And, you know, every now and again, I will dip my toes into the drama of the world. Like, I'll trying to figure out what's going on. And I looked into every aspect of that drama. I watched multiple videos on it. And, you know, at the end of the day, this is what I will always tell people when they want to dig into drama. If you dip your toes into some drama, you better walk away forming your own opinion. And my opinion on that was the creator of Venge got screwed. Now, I don't know, I never looked into it after that. I'd be kind of interested now to go back and look and see if anything came of that controversy, because I know Poppy's Playtime kept making chapters and all sorts of stuff. But that's the reason why I stopped that. Anything else that I've stopped? I don't think there's anything that I've put up recently that I just stopped doing. Not recently, anyway. Yeah, I just kind of wanted to go over my channel a little bit. Now we're going to kind of shift. Talk about some other things. Things that I want to do in the future. I know on my computer, I currently have the Metro games installed and the Evil Within games installed. Now, I'm a huge Resident Evil fanboy. I've said this multiple times. I will play the Evil Within on my channel. I've always wanted to. I think I played a bit of the first one ages ago. I think I even had a couple episodes on this channel. But they were recorded on my Xbox via, I don't know if any of you guys will remember, the Hapog game capture. That I haven't heard of those in ages, and to be honest with you, I don't even remember what happened to the one I had. Like, I don't remember. And that's kind of crazy, but I will go back and I will play those on my channel. And we're probably going to try to do uncut like I did with Resident Evil 8. The naming convention that I did for Resident Evil 8 was not done out of laziness. I thought it would be interesting to do, like, you know, the first hour, the second hour. I changed that when I did the Shadows of Rose DLC, and that'll probably change if I ever do an hour format for anything else. But we also have Among the Sleep downloaded on my computer. I kind of want to play that. What else? I'm trying to think of what I had downloaded on my computer without actually being able to see it, which, you know, is kind of interesting. Oh, that reminds me. That gives me... I can kind of segue kind of into games that I know are coming out. So, I don't know if I talked about this at all. Probably 3-4 months ago, I sat down and I downloaded the Tale of Two Wastelands mod for Fallout New Vegas. And I sat down and I played through the entirety of Fallout 3 with that mod. It was the first time I'd ever beaten Fallout 3. Now, I played Fallout New Vegas. That was my first Fallout, was New Vegas. I don't think I'd ever played 3. I might have downloaded it and booted it up a couple times, but, like, I don't think I ever sat down and got into it like I got into New Vegas. But that was my first time sitting down and beating Fallout 3. And as ironic as this is going to sound, this is a legit, true story. The moment that I finished it and all of its DLC, I logged off, or I traveled to New Vegas in-game because of the mod. and then I logged off. I went to bed. I woke up the next day, and I get on YouTube like I always do every day because I watch YouTube on a regular basis. A bunch of channels I watch. And I got on, and one of the first things recommended to me is they're making a Fallout 3 remake. 100% I'm going to play that on my channel. 100%. I will sit down and play that on my channel. I don't know if that's something that you guys will enjoy, but, you know, that is something that I will 100% sit down and do. Obviously, other games that are coming out that I know that I'm going to sit down and play on my channel. Resident Evil Requiem. I'm just going to call it RE9 because every time somebody says the word Requiem, I think of AVP Requiem, which I always thought could be a really, really interesting movie if they turned the brightness up a bit. Because trust me, try sitting down and watching that movie. Sit down, watch that movie, and tell me what you see in that movie. Because I guarantee you, I know what you'll respond with. I could barely see a thing. Yeah, I know, me too. That movie is so dark for no reason. And I don't mean, like, in tone. I mean in literal, like, brightness. It is dark. I don't understand what their thought process on that was. But that's what we were left with. And I am a huge fan of the Aliens vs. Predator universe. Both the Predator films and the Alien films I'm a huge fan of. I'm drinking a Monster Energy, not sponsored. Yeah. But, like, I'm a huge fan of those movies. I still have to go back and finish Alien Isolation. I think I read somewhere a while back, I don't know if this was recent, but I read somewhere that they're going to be making an Alien Isolation 2. That could be interesting. I'll definitely play that if I finish Isolation 1, which I will. I'm trying to make it a point to go back and finish all of the old Let's Plays on my channel that I didn't finish due to either getting sidetracked on the road to life. Which, if any of you don't get that reference, I don't know if I said that reference word for word what it is, but that was one of Kakashi's excuses in Naruto, why he showed up late. He got lost on the path of life or something. You know, I'm a huge anime guy, for those of you that may or may not know. I am a huge anime guy. Not so much a weeb, but, like, I love anime. My current major animes that I'm currently watching right this moment are... I'm not really watching any right this moment. I don't know why I built that up like I was watching an anime currently, but animes that I have watched recently. Solo Leveling. I had somebody in my life, I'm no longer associated with them, but they showed me Solo Leveling Season 1 as it was coming out in dub. Like, I remember waiting weekly for the new dub. And then, of course, at one point I got bored and went behind the person's back and finished the season in sub, because I'm one of those people, I don't care if it's in sub or dub. I prefer dub a lot of the time. Well, I can't say that. There are some anime that I'm like, this dub just kind of sucks. Not going to give my hot takes on that right now, but, like, I remember after watching that, I sat down in 3 days, it took me 3 days, I binge read the entire manhwa in 3 days. And started Ragnarok. That is so good. I highly recommend Solo Leveling. I'm also a really, really big Naruto and Dragon Ball person. I love One Punch Man, and Chainsaw Man was also really, really good. I loved Full Metal Alchemist as well. I don't think I've watched Full Metal Alchemist. But I did read all of the manga when I was in high school. Because I got lucky and in my school's library had the entirety of it. And for those of you that are wondering, I guess I'll go ahead and say it. My first ever anime that I've ever watched and read in its entirety was Soul Eater, and to this day, I still love Soul Eater. It's amazing. I don't like how the anime kind of cut it short, because I do believe that the manga continued on, which was disappointing. I thought they could have continued on, but, you know, a lot of these companies nowadays, they're there for the money, which, you know, is a shame. You guys are wondering why I'm saying so much, because I don't have anything written down. I don't want to be disingenuous. Like, if something comes to my mind, boom, I'll shout it out. But I've been really big on anime lately. I'm currently getting my partner to sit down and watch Naruto for the first time. We're currently in the Forest of Death arc, the second Chunin exam. Or the second test in the Chunin exam, or whatever they're called. Anko's test in the Forest of Death. We just got done with the part where the three sound ninja had to fight Lee. They were trying to get to Sasuke, Neji and them jumped in, we just got done with that. We haven't made it to the next episode, but that's where we're at there. She's enjoying it. It's her first time watching Naruto. That's pretty enjoyable. For those of you that are wondering, like, what other movie franchises do you like? You were just talking about loving the Aliens vs. Predator franchise. Well, I love the Scream movies. Those are my absolute favorite slasher films of all time, is the Scream movies. And before anybody's wondering, no, I haven't seen 5 or 6 yet, and I know that they just announced 7, I think, unless that was false, or like a fan-made thing. But I haven't watched 5 or 6 yet. I still need to. But for those of you that are wondering why I haven't, there are so many things on my backlog of things that I want to watch. There was a movie that came out, I want to say 7, 8, 9 years ago at this point, that starred Andy Biersack from Black Veil Brides. It's called American Satan. I think it also had Drake from Drake and Josh in it, and a few other I wouldn't say necessarily noteworthy, but at the very least recognizable people. And till this day, still haven't watched it. Still haven't. There are so many anime on my backlog that I have to I'd love to sit down and watch. I started watching My Hero 2 years ago, and I made it, I think, to the end of season 2, and I dabbled a little bit into season 3, and then I'm just I can't do this no more. I don't remember what it was that I didn't like about it. I just couldn't do it. And I started One Piece, and I made it 2 episodes into that, and I have to go back. I didn't drop that one because I wanted to. I dropped that one because I got busy. And I know that there's over 1,000 episodes of that. I don't want any One Piece fans to come and throw me overboard or anything. I'm afraid of water. I have thalassophobia. Please don't throw me to the sharks. I have nothing ill to say about One Piece. I'm just 2 or 3 episodes in, and from what I've seen of it, I do enjoy it so far. It's not bad. What are some other animes that I can talk about really quick? Because I'm probably going to end this video here shortly. Other animes that I've gotten really, really big into. I haven't watched Daima yet. I know what happens in Daima, Dragon Ball Daima. I haven't watched it yet. I've watched half of it. But then I stopped. I gotta get back and finish that. I know Super Saiyan 4 is a thing now. I know Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta's a thing. And I'm just gonna go ahead and give my personal opinion about that right now. If Daima takes place before Super, why didn't you pull out Super Saiyan 4 against Beerus? I know it probably wouldn't have changed much, but why didn't you? Vegeta, when Beerus hit Bulma, why didn't you go Super Saiyan 3? I know it wasn't thought of at the time, but you want to know what I'd love? And somebody talked about this a few years ago. I watched a YouTube video of somebody talking about this a few years ago. This is my personal opinion on this. I think if Toei Animation or Funimation, whichever company, I think if they were to take the time and sit down and reanimate the entirety of Dragon Ball, I'm talking about from Dragon Ball to Z to Daima to Super and beyond. If they were to sit down and remake the entire show, and I don't mean remake in the way of let's liberally change this, that, and the fourth. No, I mean remake as in let's reanimate all of this with the knowledge of where the story was going beforehand. right? So you can make decisions based on, you can make smarter decisions, right? Now, this may be a hot take, but I saw somebody, the person whose videos I watched of this, like 3 years ago, what they had said was, what their idea was when Krillin dies in Dragon Ball from Tambourine, imagine if they knew ahead of time what the story was going to be. Just imagine if he gets angry at that. Like, when Goku sees that, he gets angry. Imagine if just for a split second, his hair and aura flash golden, but nothing happens. Now, and I'm not sitting here saying, make him go Super Saiyan. No. If you know where the story is going, right? Like, let me clarify. Let me reiterate. I don't mean remake, remaster the story, right? Remaster the anime. Because then you could be like, have him flash, his aura and his hair flash golden, but he doesn't change it. Because as a fan, if you're remastering the show, you can throw that in there, and I don't think it really disrupts anything, because you as the audience, and I'm pretty sure Goku was alone in that scene, so nobody else would have seen it happen. But like, you as the audience, it would be like, oh, crap. Like, you could allude to things earlier. You can kind of hint at things earlier, because at the time, the reason that didn't happen was because they didn't know where the story was going to go, right? And this might be my hot take. But I think that would be good for the show. Like, imagine you hint at things earlier on, and if you wonder, if you're like, oh, well, what does that do for all the other characters that don't show up until later? Well, there's one of two things that are going to happen. You can either A, just keep it the same and have them show up later, or B, for those super fans that like really kind of want things to happen, you could always sit there and go, well, throw in some scenes of Kid Vegeta, throw in some just small scenes of what other characters are doing earlier on. Anyway, I've been ranting for a super long period of time, so anyway, thank you all, Asylumus. I have been Targy, just ranting and raving to you guys for 32 minutes and 30 seconds. If you enjoyed this, leave a like and subscribe. Hit that bell notification. Hit that bell icon to be notified of whenever I upload. And I will see you all next time. I hope you have a good day.